Welcome back to the Travel Agency in a Year podcast. It's your host, Rachel Kay, and I'm a travel agency owner just riding this crazy wave of entrepreneurship with all of you. And this podcast is 365 episodes of like how to actually build your travel agency as a business. Even if you're hosted or you're under another agency, if you're an independent contractor, you should be structuring this like a business, okay? And if you have a goal of like having agents under you, I've got that going on too. Happy to help you with that. So we are past the first 2 weeks. Congratulations. And these are really short episodes if you're brand new and just found this random episode and you're like, what the heck is this? um, but this week we're going to start talking about marketing. A lot of episodes are going to be related to marketing, different ways to do marketing. There's so much with marketing. It's actually fascinating to me. But before I touch on marketing, let's talk about a very important leadership skill we should all be working on as we are all business owners. And that skill is discernment. What is discernment? Great question. It is sorry, Merriam-Webster. Don't worry, I wrote it down. Merriam-Webster defines discernment as the quality of being able to grasp and comprehend what is obscure. And you're like, what? So essentially, it's a valuable tool to develop your critical thinking skills and to be able to make better decisions for your business. Hopefully, down the road, if you have staff, for your employees. And it's a very, very helpful tool when you start to get a sense of uncertainty, which I've talked about in other episodes. Uncertainty versus doubt. What's the difference? So, how can developing your discernment abilities as a business owner and a travel agent help your business? There are 5 ways it can help. Number 1, mitigate your risks. Think about, and this could apply to interviewing leads. Are they aligned clients? Like, do they fit with your values and your ethics? Are they creepy? Like, that's one way. Another way can help you mitigate risk is you can kind of see trends in travel. They always go up and down. And if it's something that you are already niched in and you make a comfortable living in that niche, having discernment can be like, okay, we should consider pivoting just a little bit over here. Or maybe we should add this service so we stand out a little bit more in the same niche so we don't lose a lot of revenue. It also tremendously helps with your well-being because you will start to see all of the noise on social media that's being just thrown in your face. And you're going to be like, this is pointless. This is stupid. Why is this person trying to stress me out? This has nothing to do with what I'm doing. Even if it's someone like, oh, blah, blah, blah travels down and it's in your niche. I have seen that happen for the last 8 years. Oh, this niche is dead. No one's doing it. And there's still people making a lot of money in that niche. So it'll help you realize, like, where is this information coming from? Who's saying this and why would they be saying it? So it can tremendously help with your well-being. And when do you scale to have employees if you decide to go that route, or VAs if you decide to go that route? It'll also apply to how you lead those people. Discernment also can help your business by having better customer client satisfaction. It's a vital role in understanding and meeting the needs of your clients. So, back to whatever niche is dying and it happens to be your niche, you have to see, do I need to add some sort of service? Do I need to do something different? What does my client in this niche look like now? Is it the same ideal client avatar I created 3 years ago? Okay. There's so many factors, but it's super helpful. It also helps you have your business aligned with your own ethics and values. You're not just in this for your own profit and gain and awards. There's actually, so way back, I think episode 1 or 2, day 1 or 2, I talk about the business plan and your mission statement. And your mission statement of your business should be aligned with your personal values, personal ethics, and discernment helps you understand, are we still maintaining that mission statement? Are we still aligned with the values of this business and my personal values? And discernment is an excellent skill to develop when you need to seek counsel, because we will all need to seek counsel and mentorship at forever, just forever. There's always going to be someone that's going to be able to provide a different perspective. I love playing devil's advocate, by the way. What it also can do is it'll prevent black and white thinking and just uniformed decision making. So if you were to see, oh, African safaris niche, that niche is dying. And that's your niche, as an example. I don't know why I chose that as an example. Black and white thinking would be like, well, that must be fact. But you can look at your own numbers, your number of inquiries, and the number of people asking about it, like African safari travel, and know that it's not dead. And maybe the person who's posting that doesn't have a solid marketing strategy moving forward because times have changed. Okay, so what do you need to do to be able to develop discernment? I actually found this in a Forbes article. There's a man named Kent D. Miller. Don't know who he is, sorry. But I found it and he published it in a journal of leadership. And he said there are 3 behavioral principles required. 1 is knowledge acquisition. I got this all noted. 2 is self-regulation. And 3 is knowledge application. So this whole episode, like I touch on little bits of this in the Success Circle and in the Travel Agency to Your podcast. These are very important skills to develop. Even if you're like, I'm done with travel, but you still want to have your own business, like you've got to be able to lead your business, even if you have no one else working for you. Okay. So what the heck is knowledge acquisition? Anytime you see like a post or an email come into your inbox that's like, you'd be a great fit for this program, you need to have some knowledge about what the heck's being essentially sold and marketed to you, right? As business owners, we are constantly being marketed to as well. So you need to be able to ask questions. Please do not be afraid to ask questions to anyone that is like, hey, I have this product or service. Most small business owners that help travel advisors are totally happy to answer questions. They may have an FAQ section on their website for whatever product or service they offer to help travel advisors. But have questions like, how would this help me grow my travel agency? Now, as an example, for me, and I get this question a lot, I have like my highest ticket, quote unquote, offer is become a destination wedding concierge. And it is a very, very in-depth course on event planning, not booking groups. I have a separate lower cost course for group travel. So this is like in depth on wedding and event planning. And I get asked all the time, well, I don't want to do destination weddings, but would this course help me with group travel? Absolutely not. It touches nothing on group travel. It's strictly about like destination weddings and events at all-inclusive resorts. And I focus on Mexico, Jamaica, and the DR. So if you ask me any questions about that, if you have any other questions about that course, like I'll answer them. But I have told people over and over again, like this, not even that course, but like different courses that I offer, like this course would not be a good fit. This doesn't fit your needs. This is not what you need. Don't spend your money. And any of us that are helping travel advisors should be able to do the same, right? But you've got to come up with the questions. You also need to find someone to play your devil's advocate. And this could be like, hey, I've got this new marketing strategy, or I want to test out this new platform, or um, I want to go into this niche and I've done this research and I've asked questions with the BDM with a few different suppliers that I work with that would be great for this niche. But it's important to have a trustworthy, honest, probably another travel advisor that can play devil's advocate. And same thing if you have worries and you're like, oh, here's the problems I'm seeing, they can play devil's advocate and say, well, yes, there are those problems. And also, I know you have these skills and these solutions. You always need different perspectives. If anyone's telling you it's one way and that's it, that's probably not someone giving the best advice. And that's like with regards to host agencies and like, oh gosh, I could go on and on about this. But like, for example, some host agencies will be like, this is how it is, no ifs, ands, or buts. That's not necessarily true. Um, and so then you have to discern, is this host agency independent contractor agreement a good fit for me and what I want to accomplish as a travel advisor? You also need to see what information is missing and search for any relevant facts. Because a lot of, like, if you see something on the news and you're like, oh, this is going to impact travel forever, stop. You're being reactive to the stress that's on the news. Find relevant information, which is, I understand it can be difficult at times, especially if it's like a news piece. You might want to read from multiple news outlets instead of just sticking to the one that you like to hear from, and get all of the relevant facts, like actual facts, not emotional. Like, I've seen journalists use specific adjectives on one side or the other when a lot of mainstream media is pretty biased one side or the other. So you got to like eliminate their adjectives when they're describing whatever it is or whoever it is that they're talking about. Okay. You also want to see others' beliefs and backstories with regards to whatever it is you are discerning about. And you're like, wait, how is this going to help me with quick decision making? It will. Slowly. It's a skill. You got to develop it. So let's say back to safari niche, and you're just like, someone posts in a somewhere online platform and they're like, oh, safaris are dead. I'm not getting any business this year. Okay, well, who else do you know in the industry that does safari travel? Maybe you could reach out to them and be like, hey, how is it affecting you? And many of us are very happy to just be like, no, it's not affecting me at all. Or I have noticed a slight decline, but that doesn't mean it's going away forever. No one's ever going to do this again. So you need to collect like multiple backstories, and basically you just need to get multiple sides of the story. That's the knowledge acquisition, not just like one email or one post or a bunch of comments of people in an echo chamber. Like, stay away from that if you can. It's hard to avoid because you're like, they agree with me. You also need to understand a strong versus a weak argument. So, someone just saying safaris are dead, I'm not getting any bookings. That's a very weak argument because that is one person in the industry in a very narrow niche, honestly. Um, it's not a very strong argument, especially if that person, well, you just got to know who that advisor is, like kind of do get an idea of who they are. Did they have like 6 successful safaris last year and now they got nothing? Versus an agency that's been around for 15 years and all they do is African safaris and they have a minimum $3,000 fee up front and they're still like number one. Like, that's a big difference. And you can see that that is a very weak argument when someone says safaris are dead. and you really look at like their business overall, because you can see other people are doing just fine. They've been doing just fine in the industry. Strong argument is COVID. No one could travel. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know how we were going to do it. I knew because no one could travel, I was going to stick with it because the second any country reopened, it was going to be a big boom. So, but it was a strong argument. The world is shut down. We can't travel. We don't know when things are going to reopen. We don't know how it's going to look, okay? All right. So that's knowledge acquisition tips. I'm going to probably run over a little bit. Number 2, self-regulation. Nope. I did this in the success circle, I believe. Proactive versus reactive decision making. Are you making decisions because you have an emotional reaction and you're like, oh, I got to do this. Oh, I got to switch everything around. Or can you manage your reactivity? Can you see a controversial thing online, whether it's personal or regarded to travel? And can you see, like, oh, this piece of content is trying to get an emotional reaction out of me? Avoid. And can you remain calm? Can you see if someone comments on your own content and they're just like, you're the worst person ever? Do you react to that? And do you go on a tirade and then do you block them and whatever you need to do to feel better about yourself? Or can you just be like, thanks, let's have a discussion about this? Another way to help you with discernment and your self-regulation, counter any anxieties you have when you get those comments on your own content that you post. For example, you're going to develop anxiety when someone starts saying negative things to you. It's going to happen. People have nothing better to do with their lives. So you can counter that anxiety with curiosity. And same thing if you have any issues with clients that you're working with and they're like, I'm upset about this service, whatever it is, or this hotel. Come to them with curiosity rather than anxiety of being like, oh no, they're going to leave a 1-star review. Just come, okay, well, what is it about it that this hotel was a miss for you? I'd love to know so I don't offer this to someone like you in the future. You also need to shift into like learning and discovery mode and just have a little patience instead of, oh, buy now kind of thing. Just wait a second. Do I really need this? Or sign up for this webinar for a niche you have no interest in, or get this certification from the tourism board and spend hours of your time for something that you're never going to sell. Like, it's not just like things that cost money, it's things that cost time. And is it really going to move the needle in your business, how you want it to become and evolve and grow into? That was terrible English. It's fine. It's my first language. Okay. 3, knowledge application. You need to sit in that learning and discovery mode and be able to develop trusting your gut when it's time to shift into action. So if you have an idea for switching platforms, you're going to want to do some research for your marketing, for example. You're going to want to do some research on that platform. Does it align with like your ideal client avatar? Is it where they would go when they are stressing out, or is it where they would go to make a purchase part of their client journey? Is that where they are? And you can create an account, take the username if you want. It's fine. Don't do anything with it until you really are like, okay, I think this is a viable option, and then start going with the posting. In the meantime, you'll have developed your marketing strategy and you'll be able to, if you're on like a written platform, for example, and you want to move to short form video, then you can take some of the written stuff and maybe convert it, or maybe you could like monitor for like trending sounds, how people interact on that platform first before you start posting. Okay, what information that you have when you do apply the knowledge that you've acquired, and you can check out emotionally from this decision and make it a logic-based decision. What is aligned with your values and ethics based on this information that you have? And you're not using your emotions. And what level of risk are you willing to take? What can your travel agency afford in terms of risk? If it's a financial investment, can you afford that financial investment? If you don't have a certain exponential growth in your business, like you just stay kind of stagnant, but you're making this investment, can you survive like another year before that investment pays off, right? If it's your time, is it going to affect like your personal values, your family, friend time, your self care, anything that you got going on in your personal life, another job? Is it going to be a huge risk there? And how much risk are you willing to take? Okay, this is a lot of stuff, and I'm sorry we went over our usual 20 minutes or less. So, by developing discernment, it is a cognitive thinking skill. It's not like I said, emotions. Uh, I'm doing this episode because I see so many agents like not even realizing that they're doing a lot of stuff from an emotional standpoint instead of being like, "Whew, I'm a business owner. It's okay. This is not me. This doesn't define who I am. This is something I'm working on." So it'll help you develop a greater self awareness of what is influencing all of your day to day decisions. The whole classic doom scroll that is influencing your day to day decisions. If you don't stop at a certain time and then you go over and then you're behind on other tasks, that's a really simple example. Or having the news on while you're working and then you're like, "Oh, I better stop everything. Somebody on the news is talking about something that is not relevant to my personal or professional life in any capacity, but I feel like I got to know it just in case someone asks." That's not getting anything done. So, this should help you develop self-awareness on what is really affecting you on day to day and taking small steps to eliminate the things that are not giving your business progress, like you're not getting progress in your business from it. And developing discernment gives you a space so that you can have critical thinking like contained instead of, I mean, you'll develop it like throughout the day, but it gives like a containment. If there's any kind of situation that is heightened by uncertainty, having discernment and having the ability to critically think things through rather than just get scared will help you tremendously when making decisions that are critical for your business. Back to the COVID thing, a lot of agents got scared. And I even heard back during 9/11. I was barely out of high school at that point. But back then, travel agencies shut down. They're like, travel's done. And then it happened again in COVID. Travel's done. And they were like, in the 2008 recession, there were some ups and downs. Every business is going to ebb and flow. And some people decided to make that decision because they'd been in the industry long enough and they were like 2 to 5 years from retirement anyway. So they were like, well, let's just call it quits now instead of suffering and bleeding ourselves dry in terms of our profits. This is a good decision for us. But others, I remember seeing in 2020, like trying to have a little network and be like, we can survive this kind of thing. And some of them are just like, I can't do this anymore. I got rid of all my sub agents. We're shutting the doors down. We're done. We're just going to go get a regular job. And that was like a reactive thing because I saw a huge influx of like revenues when travel came back. And it, like I said, it will ebb and flow. Now, what discernment is not? It is not perfect decision making guarantee. It is a practice. Everyone makes mistakes. When I was a butler for a billionaire, he made plenty of mistakes. And a lot of people that are very successful are okay with making mistakes because we all do it. We cannot be perfect. But practicing this in your business will help you develop more sound research skills with regards of how you want your business structured not just like research for a trip, right? But like you will always need to be making decisions on where this business is right now versus where you want it to be. That's just part of being self employed. It'll help you develop empathy for your future staff and for yourself and for everyone in the industry. Like if you're not going to be beefing online and fighting back and forth, which is a huge time suck, by the way. Like you have nothing else to do but like fight with people in comments. Get over yourself. Anyway, but you'll be able to be more calm about it if you do encounter discourse. You won't be so reactive. And you'll start to make the best decisions in your travel business. I'm not saying that they're going to always be the best decisions, but you will learn because you got to learn from your mistakes too. So I hope that helps you understand what discernment is, how to develop discernment as an entrepreneur in the travel industry. And the biggest side effect is it really cuts down the noise on what you don't need to help you grow your business versus you're like, oh, well, I might need this. I might need this help. I might need this software. Okay. All right. Thank you for listening to our longer episode, and I hope you have a wonderful day.